Hello, I'm Joshua Espinosa, and this is Sparta and Why It Fell. Sparta's rise to power was achieved through conquest, including various military victories and achievements that cemented it as the premier land fighting force with its use of advanced military strategy, tactics, and training. Following the First and Second Messenian Wars, Sparta had established itself as a major local power in the Peloponnese and Greece, displaying extreme military fortitude and prowess against the less trained Messenian army. Their use of tactics such as the phalanx formation and how effective they were at employing this tactic allowed them to defeat many armies much inferior to them, such as the Messenians. After conquering Messenia, its subjects either fled or were captured and converted into helots, or state serfs that worked the land of Messenia and were occasionally used to fight. After generations of being enslaved as helots, the former Messenians revolted against Sparta, which became known as the Second Messenian War, in which Spartans quelled the rebellion. It was after the Second Messenian War that the Spartans reorganized their state to make it severely more militant in fear of further revolts. In the Persian Wars, Sparta is mainly known for the Battle of Thermopylae, where an extremely outnumbered Greek allied force valiantly fought against the mighty Persian army, attempting to push further into Greece through the pass at Thermopylae. While some movies lead us to believe that only King Leonidas and his 300 soldiers were the only Greek forces at Thermopylae, this is untrue. The Greco-Persian Wars were a collective effort of Greek allied states against the Persian Empire. So while it's true that there were 300 Spartan hoplites, an abundance of allied forces from Thebes, Phocis, Spartan helots, and other city-states in and around the Peloponnese were involved. The Greek army led by Leonidas of Sparta firmly held their ground for 2 days, wasting even Persian immortals the same way they did the average Persian soldier, until a Greek man, Ephialtes, notified the Persian king Xerxes of a mountain path around Thermopylae, and soon the Greek forces were encircled and knew the end was near. Leonidas allowed those who wished to flee to do so, but stayed and refused to retreat. With around 2,000 Greek troops, and stayed to retreat with around 2,000 Greek troops and led them into a field to take out as many Persians as they could in the face of defeat. Estimates are disputed, but it's thought that there were 2,000 Greek casualties to the 20,000 Persian casualties, as reported by Herodotus. The Lycurgan regimen, implemented and thought of by legendary Spartan king Lycurgus, reformed Spartan society. His laws included those such as equalization of wealth, where they used iron instead, introducing a diarchy, implementing the agoge, focus on military strength, and equalization of Spartans, where no one Spartan saw himself as superior than the other, although not everyone in Sparta was as the same status. Spartan citizenship and freedom was given to those who were born from Spartans and who completed the agoge, which is a Spartan military training that Spartan boys started at the age of 7 and completed at 21. The Spartan agoge ultimately shaped Spartan men into the military machines that history remembers them for. But it was much more than that. The agoge instilled various Spartan ideologies into those who went through its extremely rigorous process, most of which were passed by Lycurgus. The agoge encouraged conformity and the importance of the Spartan state over all personal interest. The training endured was tough and included activities such as hunting, pain tolerance, and even killing in the Crypteia ritual. This training is what led to the rise of Spartan military excellence, but was very limited to who can join their ranks, which eventually came back to haunt them. It is well known that the Battle of Leuctra seems to be the start of the end for the Spartan Empire. After many conflicts with neighboring city-states such as the Corinth War, Peloponnesian War, Argives Wars, Greco-Persian Wars, Arcadian Wars, and much more, the Spartan Empire had taken damage not only to the number of forces it had, but to its reputation as a leader and dominant force in the region. The Corinth War saw an allied Greek alliance against Sparta after Sparta had been selfish in the Peloponnesian War, and soon after attacked the city-state Elis, which had contributed more to the war effort than Sparta did, with the major Spartan allies Thebes and Corinth refusing to send troops to support Sparta in their effort against Elis. Sparta was challenged by the allied Greeks who had the aid of the Persians until the Persians thought that Sparta would better help their ultimate cause of conquering Asia Minor, which they did by granting the Persians Ionia in exchange for a restored Spartan hegemony in the region. In the events following the Corinth War, Sparta had lost almost all allies and began punishing those who went against them. To punish Thebes, Sparta took over the city in a coup against its diplomatic government to instill its oligarchy as it usually did. This angered many Theban Democrats, who prepared a conspiracy to retake the city by infiltrating with a group of hoplites and assassinating the leaders of the pro-Spartan government and surrounding the Spartans. The following day, the Theban leaders Pelopidas and Epaminondas stood in front of the Theban assembly and urged their people to fight for their freedom, thus starting the Theban-Spartan War. Battles ensued with the Thebans, with Spartans taking heavy casualties and small victories, in which the Theban army grew in confidence after every skirmish. One notable battle, the Battle of Tagaira, saw a huge Theban victory in which Spartan military leaders were killed early on, leaving Spartans leaderless on the battlefield and being demolished in a battle that Spartans outnumbered the Thebans 2-1. This battle gave Thebes the power and influence and saw it restore its Boeotian League, to which Sparta was unpleased. Sparta took to the matter by attempting to invade Boeotia to assert their dominance, but were utterly destroyed after the Battle of Leuctra. The Spartans suffered catastrophic losses of about 4,000 hoplites, while the Thebans lost around 300, in an army about half the size of what the Spartans had. The losses Sparta maintained saw it fall by the wayside as a second-class city-state, much like Sparta had done to Athens in the Peloponnesian War, and unofficially transformed the region under Theban hegemony. This is a photo given to us by the Library of Congress, the U.S. Library of Congress, and it's of ruins at Sparta, Greece. In conclusion, the fall of Sparta was a massive event in Greece. This saw the rise of a new power in the region and dethroned Sparta from the top. I chose this topic because Sparta is extremely interesting. I wanted to know how such a strong city-state fell. And the lesson with that is arrogance, selfishness, and privilege will alienate you and make you weak no matter how strong you are. It's the ties that you make with your city-states, alliances, friends, whoever they be, that make you a stronger person.